Okay, so let's take a look at how you can create app configuration in Azure service. So we log into Azure portal and here we can click on create resource. Alternatively, I can also use the search bar for resources. Also click on menu and click all services. So that's one of the thing. Here we will see app configuration. So if we choose that from search, it should point us to our Azure App Configuration options. Right here you will see App Configuration from Microsoft Azure Service. Click Create App Configuration. So when you search for that, it will take you there. Right. The best option would be searching for it from search results. Either way, you will get there. And here, what we will do is we will do first thing of creating our app configuration. Now we will start with subscription. We select free trial, then resource group, then you have location given to you automatically. Now here I can give a resource name, right? So this can be a unique resource name for app configuration. The name can be between limited set of characters and you can validate if that's available or not. So app C, right? And once you do, you will have pricing tier to check. You have like free and standard to choose. I will choose free. Right here you can see your application soft delete are not supported for stores in the free tier. Then comes your application grayed out, recovery grayed out for you. Now we choose the free option. So go to networking, set it to automatic, or you can also choose enabled. So all networks including internet private endpoints can access this resource. So we'll use enable, right? So that is another good option to go. It's tags. So we are going to organize our app configuration resource using tags, right? So once you do that, it would be wise for you to create the resource by going through review and create. Now you see the validation is passed, all the options that we have here. Now click on create and you are good to go. Here you can see create a key value option for you. The thing is you have to think of key value in terms of the flags for your application, right? So let's say there are some toggle options usually within app, so they kind of set either true or false values. Those values can be stored in this key value store and you can use them for your app settings. Notice that once we hit the create, it will go for deployment, right? So it's a good thing for you to check out. Now let's go to resource once the deployment is done, right? So all the process you have checked, right? So within this particular app configuration dashboard you will see endpoint. So this endpoint is we can access it. Then there is pricing tier, free, soft delete, purge, geolocation, everything is deleted, or you can say disabled, right? Then you can also check the metrics for all the things that worked out here, right? Now another thing we can take a look at is the option for operations. Now here I will click configuration explorer. Notice that there is nothing here, so it means we have to click on create and use one of the two options, key value or key vault reference. So in our particular case we will be using key value, right? So here appconf is our key. Now here within value I can choose a specific value, or let's just say our key is test app right? So test app settings and then text align. So let's say your app hits one of these, then you should have value of center. You can also have labels, but in my case I plan on not adding any label or so I will just go for apply and that should do the work. You can also apply feature flag. So to do that I will just go to feature manager. Now here you can see we don't have any features, so I will just use create option. So here what I will do is I will use enable feature flag. This box is particularly needs to be checked. Now let's name this. So if you want to name your feature flag, what would you name? So you will name feature A, right? So once you name that, it will automatically add it at the end of that particular URL, right? And then what we can do is we can add the label or description and move on, right? We don't need to even use filter. Just apply and it will create a feature flag as well. Notice feature A, right? And there are no labels and the key will be accessible .app config feature flag feature A. So this was just a demo for these two things and we can explore further, and once done what we will do is we will just remove all of the app conf dev. So when it comes to deletion, you can simply select them and delete. That's one of the way. Another way is just going to resource group and deleting the resources. So that's one more way, right? So what we can do in this particular case is, let's see from the start. Here within overview we have variety of options, right? Then you have configuration explorer, feature manager, restore, compare, import and export options. So if we choose import and export, here you can see you can select the services. So we can choose app configuration, then select resource. Then here you see if you already have any particular resource, we will just use that from the list. As you can see, this app conf dev is the resource we created, so we can't self import etc. We will have to create alternate one, then use that into this and this into another one and so on. Export is option, understandable. I can just select subscription, resource, and finally the resource which I want to export. That's something you can do. Now here you can also use Azure Active Directory for accessing these type of certain services, right? Now there is also compare option for you to explore. So like we can see the store option that we have, current store, we can see when it was created and so on. We can compare between the two different stores and the value within that. So that's a good thing. So next thing is access keys. So if we check the access keys, you can go through settings and access keys, then you will find all the read write keys with endpoint, primary, secret and connection string, and secondary, secret and connection string, and so on. Next is scale up, right? Currently we can see that we are on free quota, so this will be visible here. Then there is also standard plan where you have unlimited resource, storage per resource 1 GB and so on, right? Then comes geo replication, right? And you can even view that, right? Then comes the identity part where you can enable, disable it. You can use RBAC, right? So let's move on to encryption. Here you can see currently we are on free tier, so a lot of these services kind of limited for us, like geo replication, right? Then networking wise we already enabled, so we can either enable or disable. The automatic is disabled for us. Same with private access, but with private we are kind of again limited with our free tier, right? Now let's see if there is anything else that I missed. Okay, so there are properties just like access keys. You will have your variety of IDs that you can use within apps. Then there is always a lock. Most of the places have that lock. You can add resource group subscription. Only those can access this particular feature. So you have that option too. Now there is also quick start option we didn't look at. So if you are doing the development, want to use this for, let's say, your .NET app, Java or Azure function or any other Python or JavaScript app, you can follow along by selecting that respective option. So pretty much covered up on app configuration part in Microsoft Azure.